Greetings and welcome back to the Osha Cerese Show. I am your host, Osha Cerese, and this is where culture meets coaching. I almost forgot where it was. This is where culture meets coaching, where healing meets headlines, and where we utilize alchemy to transmute gossip into growth. Welcome, y'all. Welcome back. Thank you for pulling up on me. If you are watching from any other platform other than the tube, or if you just so happen to scroll upon this episode and you're not subscribed, please do so now. Go ahead and click the link in my bio or go to youtube.com/@AshaCerise if you old school and you want to type it in. But anyway, thank you for pulling up. I'm Osha Cerese, certified life coach, event curator, and dream doula. Let me put my locks behind my ears so I can hear myself talk. Osha Cerese, certified life coach, event curator, dream doula, supporting you with your journey and with birthing your ideas into life. So, as you can see, I'm stumbling over my words already, but I am tired, y'all. I'm a little exhausted today. I had a lot of things going on, a lot of work to do today in the house, work for clients, work for projects that I'm on, and meetings. So your girl is a little exhausted, but I'm here. We made it. We are present. We are exuding great energy. We're going to have a great conversation. We're showing up. This is episode 51. Drink of the evening is berry punch again. And we are going to toast to a great episode 51. We're going to toast to great energy, great health, wellness, happiness, joy, bliss, ease, and abundance. Okay? Cheers. Thirsty much? So, yes, this is April 12/12. Make a wish. Um, this is going to be Wednesday night show, but I know it's technically Thursday now. Don't mind the calendar. I haven't readjusted it yet. But when I sat down here just now and I saw my calendar, I'm like, oh Lord, I'm glad I saw it because it reminded me that I have something important to do tomorrow that I actually have forgotten about. So thank goodness for that. But y'all, it is National Stress Awareness Month. And there's several different um, movements, illnesses, diseases, whatever, things that are celebrated or honored or recognized in the month of April. But the reason I chose stress is because, for one, I'm a life coach. So, you know, I wanted to stay on brand of some things that I'm familiar with, a topic that I'm familiar with working with clients, but also a topic that I personally deal with too. So we all know that there's so many things in the world that we can stress about. But the key and the point of it all is to manage the stress appropriately. So I would say that I have been dealing with a lot of stressful things lately in my personal life, personal and professional life. But I've been doing a fairly good job with managing it. So I want to provide some tools for other people as well and just bring some awareness to stress because, again, like I said yesterday, we don't have the luxury to be storing stress in our bodies, internalizing stress, and holding on to things that no longer serve us, or, feeling like stressing is going to be the antidote or the answer to anything, because stress don't pay no bills. Stress doesn't change your situation, and stress is simply not helpful um, for whatever it is that you're going through. So we're going to talk today a little bit about good stress and bad stress, because that sounds like an oxymoron to say good stress, but there actually is a such thing as good stress. So just to identify the two, there's a such thing as Eustress, Eustress, and distress. So we've all heard of distress. But eustress, I think I'm pronouncing it right because I don't ever use the term. I don't ever say it out loud. Um, but it's the kind of stress that helps you grow. So something like preparing for a big opportunity, like a job interview, a presentation, a major event, something new. There's going to be some stress that comes along with that. It's going to be pressure. It's going to have your adrenaline rushing. It's because you don't know how it's going to go, or you're excited. And that's another thing, that sometimes we label certain energy improperly. So it may not be that you're stressed and anxious. It might just be that you're extremely excited. You have a lot of energy around this big opportunity, and you're looking forward to it. And the excitement kind of feels like stress or feels like anxiety, but it's just a big dose of energy that needs somewhere to go, needs to be expressed, needs to, you need to go ahead and get through with whatever it is that you're preparing for so you can exhale. Um, Good stress also could be learning a new skill that challenges you. Because, of course, we always want to be students of life, whatever it is that we are gifted in, what we naturally know that's beautiful, but we always want to continuously learn and grow and challenge ourselves. And challenging yourself is always going to be um, it's going to come along with a little bit of stress. And it's not stress in a bad way, but that pressure, that um, just that feeling of uncertainty, to step outside of your comfort zone, a little bit of discomfort can come along with that. And you just have to remember to give yourself grace because you're learning something new. And just remember your why. Remember why you've decided to learn this new skill. Um, and understand that the challenge is going to bring forth the reward. So um, invite that type of um, stress. And then, of course, exercising and pushing your body to get stronger. This is something that I could definitely do better with. I ain't never been a gym rat, a gym head, or and when I was in school, I didn't like PE, but I participated. I'll participate when I get there. It's the getting there part. I'm a yoga at home type girly, but I need to get into that weightlifting and strength training and all of the things, cardio. What up? The word 9% is in the house. But yes, pushing yourself to exercise, that's gonna feel like stress, but it's also a stress reliever. So the stress can come in at, like I said, getting there. Like the lady who I practice yoga with on YouTube, she always talks about the hardest part is showing up. So um, like I said, if I go to the gym, I'm gonna work out while I'm there. But do I go to the gym? Mm. Not often. But even with yoga, like right now, like I told y'all, I'm exhausted, tired. I need to lay down somewhere. Um, but I've made the commitment to practice yoga in the evenings. And sometimes I don't get there, until super late. And when I get to that mat, even though it might have been the hardest thing for me to do, even though I'm like, oh, I'd rather do this, I'd rather chill, I'd rather go get some sleep. Once I get to the mat, it's up. I'm going to practice my yoga and it's going to be fine. But just doing things like that to push your body, running, lifting weights that are heavier than what you're used to, challenging yourself to make new accomplishments. That's good stress. And traveling to new places outside of your comfort zone too, that could be good stress as well. Um, I'm gonna just say I haven't been to many places out of the country yet. Got my passport right here in this top drawer, ready to be filled. Is this my old one or my new one? That's my old one. This is my new one right here, ready to be filled with stamps. Both of these just have one stamp in it so far. I went on a cruise a long time ago. Didn't use my passport for that. Used my birth certificate. But this old passport has a Mexico stamp from my 30th birthday going to Cabo, and this new passport has a stamp from Brazil when I went to Brazil for the first time in October, this past October. Let me see something. I wanted to see, you know. Yep. So it has Brazil, and I'm looking forward to filling this passport up with plenty more stamps and traveling. But I just remember how I felt before I went to Brazil, even though I was super excited to go, and it was a great opportunity, and it was something I've never done before. I was a little scared. I was a little nervous. For one, about the long flight. Never been on a flight longer than like 5 hours at a time. And just being somewhere new. And by the time I got out there, I was fine. The driving had me a little thrown off. They'd be driving a little crazy out there. But other than that, after I got acclimated to the country, to where I was in the area that I was literally outside by myself, walking around at night, walking through neighborhoods. I don't know if they were safe or not, walking past favelas and everything by myself, and I was fine. The word 9% says, I can't wait to work out. Been 4 years. Every time I think I'm strong enough, I end up passing out. What? What's going on? Why you end up passing out? If you care to share. Because we're talking about stress in the month of April. It's National Stress Awareness Month. So um, I'm talking about good and bad stress today. And we're talking good stress when we categorize exercise as good stress. And of course, it's a stress reliever. But while while he's telling us details, if he cares to do so, I would say, as far as traveling to new places outside of your comfort zone, like there's so many beautiful places to see and so much culture and so much to learn. And um, even if you're nervous or scared to do it, just try it. If you're scared to go by yourself, find somebody that you can travel with, because you can't travel with everybody. I'm gonna just keep it real. I don't care how much you love them. Everybody's not good travel partners, but find you a good travel partner and get out here in this world and see what the world has to offer. Because there's so many beautiful things. So, and then I was so, I got so spoiled with the prices out there. I'm like, Lord, when I came back to the States, I think I was culture shocked coming back home. Because I remember, like, the day, was it the day? It was like the day of my flight back home. I spent the day in Rio by myself. I was in Salvador Bahia for like 8 days prior to, I was in Rio, started in Rio, went to Salvador Bahia for 8 days, and then one day in Rio again by myself. And even Rio is more expensive than Salvador Bahia, but it was still so much cheaper than here, of course. And I have been looking for a vegan restaurants, period. Because Brazil, they about the meats. But I was looking for some vegan restaurants, so I found a really nice looking one when I was in Rio, and I went in there and balled out. I ordered so much stuff. I ordered appetizers, couple of entrees, and a dessert, and a drink, and a water, and and I still spent. I know I didn't spend $50, something around that. But if I was in the States and I ordered all that food, it would have been 200 plus. But in Salvador Bahia, my meals were no more than $12 at the most, tops. And that was if I really ordered a lot of stuff. Um, Getting in the Ubers, driving like 15, 20 minutes, $2, $3. Airport, less than $20 for sure, not even close. So I definitely was loving the amount of money I was spending there. And then when I came back home, because I had caught the flu in Brazil, when I came back home, when I have the flu, I like to eat pho, Vietnamese noodles, and When I tell you, me and my mom came to pick me up from the airport. We went to get some pho, 2 bowls of pho, veggie pho at that, 50 something dollars. I was like, welcome home, back to life, back to reality, honey. Brazil is beautiful. Horseback riding on the beach of Copacabana. See, I've been wanting a horseback ride. I'm low key scared of horses, y'all. I'm real. If you get to know me, stick around to get to know me virtually. But if you ever are around me, people don't know this about me that don't know me or that aren't around me. But I'm kind of scary. I'm working on it, but I'm a little scaredy cat, and I have never been brave enough to get on a horse, but I've said that I would. I think it was because when I was younger, somebody said something about a horse has the capability of kicking a hole in your chest. And I seen a horse like be out of control by somebody who knows how to ride horses, and that it was their horse, and the horse was out of control. So I think that threw me off. But I wanna face my fears. On my 30th birthday, the plan was to go horseback riding in Cabo, but it was booked. I had no idea they did horseback riding on the beach of Copacabana at all. But I will say this about the beach. I was watching something else I'm terrified about. Severe weather. That's probably like my number one thing. Um, I was on this page that has all these clips about severe weather. And um it was a whole bunch of people on the beach in Rio at Copacabana, I believe it was, and like this big old wave just came through and spiked everybody up. And they said they had a name for it. They said that it's called something and that people were warned that day not to go to the beach because of that very reason or the risk of that, but they did anyway. But it reminded me that when I was on the beach that day that I had my solo day in Rio, it was raining that whole week in Rio. That's why I didn't get to go to the Christ the Redeemer because you couldn't even see it. It was so foggy and rainy that week. But I was outside, in the rain, walking in the rain, having a good time. Mind not being unbothered. I don't mind walking in the rain. Um, but I spent some time on the beach when it wasn't raining, and I noticed that the water was really strong. Like the tide was coming back further and further, and I'm like, am I safe? But the way the water felt around my feet, it literally felt like it was trying to pull me in. So I felt like I didn't feel comfortable walking too close on the shore in Rio. Um, the water didn't seem inviting to me at all. Maybe it was because it was a rainy week, but I probably would be scared to get in the water there. In Salvador Bahia, I loved getting in the water. I didn't spend much time in the water because when I did go to the beach, I was by myself. So all my stuff was in my chair, so I didn't want to leave it. But yeah, I digress. I just wanted to talk about that water and how uninviting it was. But the word says I got a VP shunt a couple years ago, and he's blind in one eye now. So his equilibrium is off, and he guesses his body is still adjusting to change. Damn, and you got hydrocephalus. Well, damn. I'm sorry to hear that. You gotta ease your way back into it. You might need to get you a trainer instead of trying to work out on your own. But it sounds like you're in great spirits about things that you are dealing with. So I'm sending you some healing energy, and I hope you can slowly but surely get back into your workouts. But yeah, that does make sense about your balance being off. So yeah, finding ways to push through. We got to move our bodies like some type of way, even if exercising, like lifting weights, is not something you can do. Moving our bodies because we carry so much stress in our bodies. Women, we carrying stress in our wombs and in our hips. So hip opening exercises, doing certain yoga poses, squats. Um, there are certain lunges that are good for your hip opening exercises. And then womb healing womb work. I recommend Sacred Woman. I would grab it off my bookshelf, but it's too far for me to reach. But I recommend getting Sacred Woman by Queen Afua to connect with your womb. Your womb can hear you, can feel you, can understand you. So we often disconnect from our womb. So teaches you how to reconnect with your womb, love on your womb, listen to your womb, and heal your womb. Heal yourself through womb wellness with womb affirmations, exercises, remedies like castor oil packs and yoni steams and womb massages and exercises and your diet and all of that. So, um, moving your body, dancing, hula hooping, those type of things to kind of just work on that root chakra, that sacral chakra. The word says, I used to train martial arts and just a physical trainer. Yeah. Do you think that that was more helpful than just working out on your own? So the good stress, it definitely helps to increase your motivation and your focus. Um, it builds resilience and problem solving skills for sure. Thumbs up. I don't never see when that thumbs up comes. And then it helps with growth, creativity, and adaptability, which is three characteristics we all need. So that bad stress, that distress that we were talking about, the kind that drains you, like today, I'm feeling drained because I had a lot of work to do. I had a lot of meetings. I pick up energies very easily. You know, being in meetings with a whole bunch of different types of energies, I always try to call my energy back after getting off of a meeting. But sometimes when you don't have the time to really decompress, that stress can still kind of linger. So, um, feeling exhausted after interacting with certain people, that can be a sign that you need to call your energy back, that you need to find ways to decompress, that you need to find ways to fill your cup back up. But some examples of bad stress, of course, financial struggles and constant money worries. That's something that a lot of us deal with, especially in our community. You know, we have certain setbacks and oppression and things that we've been subjected to, um, that have put us further back than the rest. But we are resilient people. We are people that have been able to make it through so many different things. So it's not that we use that as an excuse, but we recognize that it is a factor. So we out here with, you know, other people having head starts and we're still getting it, we're still surviving, and we're looking to thrive. Now, there are some people doing mighty well financially. They are responsible, they have financial literacy on their side, they have some generational wealth, but it's rare in our community. So having constant financial struggles and worries about money is like constantly being in survival mode, which is like constantly being in flight or fight, fawn or freeze mode. So just imagining if you're like frightened by something, like all of a sudden, that feeling that you have when you're startled and you just never can get out of that energy. That's what it's like, constantly being worried about some damn bills and how you gonna pay your rent and how you gonna eat and all of that. So a lot of us in our community are constantly in survival mode. So again, of course, like I keep telling y'all, stress don't pay no bills. You cannot go to the bank and say, I want to deposit my stress. What you can do is lay down your burdens down by the riverside. Give your worries to God or whoever it is that you pray, source or whatever, whoever resonates with you. Um, you can give it to God because it's not for you to carry. The only thing that you can do when you're having financial struggles is to work on combating them. Put the worries to the side, put the stress to the side. It's easier said than done, I know. but coming up with solutions is going to be your best bet. Um, some of the things that you need may require an instant solution. So, of course, that means that you have to um, think fast, think quick. You may not have anybody that you can call and reach out to, but you may have some resources. Like there's different ways to make money these days. If you got a car, download an app, Instacart, Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft, tackle different. There's so many different things that we can do from our phones to make some ends meet. um, if you have gifts that you can teach other people, or something that you can do that someone is willing to pay for, you have to tap into that. That's where I come in at. If you are somebody that has gifts and you don't know what to do with them, that's a part of me being a dream doula, helping you to birth your ideas into reality. Get you a strategy call and let's figure out how we can get you some money. But of course, if you're still working in corporate, or you work, or if you're not, if you need to get you a job or a gig or sign up for something, that's always an option as well. And just finding ways to um, access more money so that you can have more money to take care of yourself, take care of your bills, save a little bit, and constantly figure out how to grow. If you have a job, a lot of people are saying the best thing to do is to not stay complacent in that job. Like, don't be staying at one company for 20, 30, 40 years and they're not valuing you. um, in certain fields, you need to constantly be looking to grow. Like, get what you can while you're there, get your certifications, get your experience, do what you need to do, and apply for something, and start off negotiating your pay for way more than you made at your last job. So just figuring out what you got to do. The word says, I can't work out with people. I'd be too intense. Please, or people slow me down. I understand that too. And you said you're gonna catch the replay. You got a dip. Have a great stream. Thank you so much, and I appreciate y'all for coming back to the replays, because a lot of my subscribers and new friends, y'all do hook me up with some views and some engagement by coming to catch the replay. So I appreciate whoever catches this at a later time, and thank you for those of you who are live. But you know, the financial struggles and constant money worries, solutions is the answer. Community, not just community to help you with your problems, but just to support you and make you feel like you're not alone, to help you come up with solutions. And then, if you're having some emergency problems where you may need some support on a bill or rent or something like that, then 211. Call them and see if they can give you some resources, churches in your area, different places that support and help. And I know with the times that we're in, a lot of people are lacking government funding, and it's scary because sometimes people rely on those type of fundings to help them in their time of need. But we live in an abundant world, so don't get discouraged, and know that whatever it is that you're going through, it's not it's not permanent. It's not forever. It can be a temporary thing, or if you want to live there, then it can be a long-term thing, but it's up to you to make the decision, make the choice to make another move and get out of it. So again, coming up with solutions, connecting with God, your source, the creator, the most high, whoever it is that you resonate with, prayer, and asking for support, asking for help, and giving your burdens to God, because it is not for you to carry. Um, Other things that are bad stress, toxic ass relationships filled with drama, manipulation, or control. I keep trying to tell y'all that the toxic relationships are stressing people out. Their hair is thinning, they're losing weight, they're looking old, they're feeling drained, they're going through all this stuff, and they still feel alone. I'm not talking from the outside looking in, because I've been in toxic relationships before. I know what they feel like, and it's not fun. And I wouldn't wish it on anyone. So If you're in a toxic relationship, if you're with somebody that's controlling you, manipulating you, abusing you, cheating on you, all of those things, you need to decide whether or not you want to live. Because it is literally taking years off of your life staying in a toxic relationship with someone who means you no good. So that's some stress you can control. And I always say if you don't feel safe, you need to figure out a plan to escape, because I understand that some people are in toxic relationships because they're scared. They're afraid to leave because you might be in a relationship with whole food. So come up with a plan. Um, I do have some resources that I could support you with, send you to certain people that help and support with exit plans, escape plans if you need support with that. Um, Stress, bad stress, distress, feeling overworked and undervalued in your career. Whew, that's something. Being overworked and underpaid, overworked and undervalued. Even if you're not even working as hard as you're not breaking your back or whatever, but just the stress of not being appreciated or having a toxic work environment, having no morale, low morale in the workplace, that's stressful. If you get up every day and you're dreading going to work, that's stressful. If you go to work and you're having to constantly hold your tongue, bite your tongue, um, you're being bullied, you're dealing with people with their microaggressions, you're dealing with being uncomfortable in the workplace, you're being mishandled. People are abusing their authority. People are trying to get you to do all the tasks under the sun that you're not getting paid for. They're expecting you to do the most for the less, the most for the least. It's stressful. But you have to remind yourself that you don't have to stay there. And I'm not just saying quit your job and not have a plan like I did. I'm saying solutions. The answer to the stress. I have a lot of tools for you that we're gonna be talking about this month for stress management. But the top two I'm gonna say is your spirituality and solutions. Spirituality and solutions. All S's. In order to combat stress with spirituality and solutions. So spirituality can be a plethora of things. That could be prayer. That could be giving it to God. That could be calling on your ancestors. That could be um, meditation. That could be a lot of different things, whatever you associate with spiritual wellness. And then solutions, solutions. Whatever it is that you're worried about, what are the solutions? If it's finances, how can I make some money real quick? How can I increase my revenue? How can I get me a quick gig real quick? How can I sell some things? What kind of gifts do I have that I can utilize? If it's toxic relationships, if we can't work it out, we can't communicate, therapy ain't gonna work, a wise counsel's not gonna help, our village can't help, we need to uncouple. We need to separate. We need to go our separate ways. What's the solution if we can't be together peacefully? If you at work feeling overworked and undervalued, setting boundaries, communicating, um, or just kicking rocks, coming up with a plan, figuring out what your skills are, developing your skills, doing the best that you can to cultivate your skills and elevate whatever it is that you do in your field while you're there. Take advantage of the things that they have. Do they have tuition reimbursement? Can you go back to school? Will they pay for your certifications? Will they train you on certain systems or processes that you can use for another position? And then apply, and move on, move forward. And then, of course, constantly worrying about things that aren't in your control. That's one of the biggest things that we worry about, things that we can't do shit about. And I'm not talking about it from the outside looking in, because I do it too. But we have to remind ourselves, that's a question that you can ask yourself when you're stressed about something. Is there anything I could do about it? If the answer is yes, what are the solutions? If the answer is no, then another S word, surrender. And that doesn't mean give up, give in, say F it, whatever happens, happens. It just means flow. Flow with whatever is happening and pivot. Learn how to pivot, learn how to adapt, learn how to shift with it. And go with it instead of against it, and figure out a way that you can again adapt to the pivot. So worrying about it, stressing about it, making yourself sick about it, calling everybody else, crying about it, doing all the things. And again, you are entitled to your emotions and your feelings. You can vent. You know, that's what we have therapy for. That's what we have our go-to people for. I get all that. But at the end of the day, solutions. What are the solutions to the problem? If you can't do shit about it, what's next? How do we pivot? How do we adapt? So, you know, we got to figure these things out, because stress will weaken your immune system, like I told y'all yesterday, and cause physical health issues. That's why people have high blood pressure, heart disease, strokes, heart attacks, ulcers, problems with their skin, even vaginal issues. You can have vaginal odors or infections just from stressing. You can literally stress yourself into having a smelly cat, smelly cat. What are they feeding you? You only know what that reference is if you watch Friends. Shout out to Phoebe. But there's so many things that can happen. Like, you know, stress sweat. They talk about stress sweat. Literally, you could be out here musty just because you're stressing out. There's a stress sweat smells funkier than just the average perspiration. So, stressing is not good for your health. And then also it leads to anxiety, depression, and emotional exhaustion. Like I said, feeling drained, feeling exhausted, and nothing helps, not even rest. Being anxious, being depressed, being numb, being just checking out because you're so stressed out. The only thing you can do is disassociate. And then it does create mental fog, irritability, and burnout. And I can relate to all of those things. I don't really get mental fog as much, but irritability for sure, burnout for sure. So we have to prioritize things. Um, if you're overwhelmed with life and all the tasks that you have to complete, remember that you can only do one thing at a time. So creating a schedule for yourself, a to-do list, scheduling out what it is that you need to do in your calendar in bite-sized pieces. All of my coaches that I've ever had always talk about the same thing when it comes to organizing time. Elephant diet, um, writing out your to-do list, breaking it down in steps, scheduling it out, putting it in your calendar on your phone, setting alerts, setting alarms, and doing it. You can only do things one step at a time. So, understanding that, writing things down is going to also help with stress, because it gets it out of your head and onto the paper, out of your head and onto a calendar. When you write things down, when you write things out, when you can look at things, they're not as overwhelming. They don't seem so big. So, um, those are the solutions of the day. That's the difference between good stress and bad stress. And solutions, your spirituality, surrendering. Those are going to be the three words that we wrap that up with. So, again, stress isn't the enemy. It's about learning how to use the good stress to grow, and setting boundaries, and getting, creating tools, or tapping into utilizing the tools to protect yourself from the stress that drains you. Again, any type of draining activity, whether that's other people, these meetings, these jobs, these relationships, or whatever, setting boundaries is also going to help you in these moments, and knowing what your boundaries are and enforcing them. So, spirituality, solutions, surrendering, setting boundaries. Those are your four S's of stress management today. But let's go ahead and get into the main topic. I don't know if we're gonna get on everything, because I didn't know I was gonna be talking about stress for 40 minutes. I guess we need to get that on out. But the question I have is, when it comes to your friendships, if you know that your friend's man is cheating, or you've heard that your friend's man is cheating, are you supposed to get involved, or do you mind your own business? The latest thing going around this week is a clip. I haven't seen the full episode yet, but Rasheeda and Yandy. We all know Rasheeda. She's with Kirk. She's a rapper from Atlanta. Put it on them, make them wanna marry me. Put it on them, make them wanna marry me. And the type of chick you wanna chew all on my bubble gum. The type of chick you wanna chew all on my bubble gum. I'm the type of chick you wanna take to your mama house. She has some little boppers. What they call it? Some bops. That's that auntie shit. I don't say bops. She had some hits back in the day. Um, but yes, so apparently there's a lot of rumors going around that Mendeecees, Yandy's husband, is out here in these streets and entertaining other women, flirting other women, and possibly getting down with them. And you know, Mendeecees spent a lot of time in prison. Yandy held him down. They had a wedding. I don't think they legally got married. I don't know if they ever got legally married, but I think they ended up getting legally married. But anyway, we saw a couple weeks ago, a couple episodes that what is that girl name? I can't think of her name. The one that used to be with look, I guess I do be having mental fog. The one that used to be with Nick Cannon. I see her face, but I can't think of her name at the moment. Let's look her up, because you know I gotta put some respect on her name. I wasn't planning on talking about her today, but um let's see. Why do they I typed in Love and Hip Hop. Okay, Jessica White. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast, and they literally gave me every cast member that's ever been on there. But yes, Jessica White. She used to be with Nick Cannon, and she had recently told Yandy that her niece basically told her that Mendeecees tried to talk to her. And she was very emotional about it. She was nervous to bring it to Yandy. She told Yandy, you know, very gently, and wanted to make sure that she didn't, you know, cause a ruckus, but she felt moved to share the information with Yandy. Yandy was like, "So who's your niece?" And she was getting all the information or whatever. And she was like, "Oh, girl, just wipe your tears. That was me. That was me responding to her in the DMs, and you know, it wasn't him." So she basically said that it wasn't Mendeecees talking to Jessica White's niece, that she has access to his phone, that they were out one night and she saw a girl in his ear, and he told her that it was such and such, and she googled his name, or not googled, but looked at his follower list to find the girl's name and started a conversation. The shit don't make sense to us, anybody that listened, but that's what she said, so that's all we can go by. um so basically it showed us that Yandy doesn't really receive that type of information well, whether she was lying or not. Even the fact that it was being brought to her, and that's her marriage. So she might be the type of married woman that if somebody brings something to her about her husband, she's going to deal with him and talk to him about it in private, and she's not going to um, talk about, give anybody the satisfaction to bring her any type of news and let them see her reaction in person. And I get that too. Like, even if it did bother her, you know, you don't have to know that. I'll talk to him in private. So, anyway, I guess this week something else had went down, and Rasheeda didn't, I guess whatever the issue was with Mendeecees and Yandy, and there was an event, and Rasheeda supposedly knew something went down and she didn't reach out to Yandy. So Yandy felt that there was a problem with that. And so somebody was confronting Rasheeda about why she didn't say anything. And she was like, well, people come to me with all kind of tea from the streets, basically saying that Mendeecees entertains other women and he has something going on with other women, but I keep it to myself. So people are feeling mixed feelings about whether or not that's appropriate. If you have a homegirl and somebody brings you information about her man cheating, half of the people feel like she should have told Yandy, and other people are saying they understand why she's minding her business. Because, for one, she has issues in her own marriage that she's, managing and getting through. Um, Kurt had a baby, an outside baby during their marriage, and she had to deal with that and forgive him through that and work through that and whatever other issues they have that don't nobody know about. So I kind of feel her on that part as far as, she has to prioritize her own marriage and marital concerns versus trying to get involved in somebody else's. But I think that that's a conversation that you have to, I really think it's case by case, to be honest. I think every friend is different. And I believe when you start getting close with somebody, that's a conversation you should have. Like, if I know some information, would you want to know? Because people be saying they want to know and they really don't. Because I've seen people give the scoop to someone, like, this is what I heard about your man, this is the rumor, and then they're pissed off at the person that said it, and then they don't believe them, they believe their man, they start beefing with the woman instead of the man, or they completely fall out with their friend that brought them the information. So it's like, do you risk falling out with someone or disrupting their marriage with some news that you heard, or do you stay out of it? I don't know. I think it's something that you have to decide based on your personal friendship. What up, realist? Thank you for pulling up. So we're talking about right now, as far as if your friend is being cheated on, or something, or you hear about them being cheated on, not even necessarily that you see it yourself. Do you feel called to share that with your friend, or is that none of your business? So I think back in the day, I believe I told somebody something I may have heard. I don't know if I heard it or saw it. I can't remember the story, but I remember I told the person that I know. I'm not going to say what the relationship was. And I just know that they went back and told their man that I said it. And that's what I didn't like, because I'm looking out for you and I'm telling you this, but I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be um marked as the damn mole, so that your man is now pissed off at me. I don't want to be involved like that. If I tell you, just go talk to them, don't keep my name out of it, please. Really say yep, because I would want to know myself. Okay. And then let me see, there was another time. There was a time when someone told me that they were talking to a guy that was also talking to somebody that I love. And once we put two and two together, before I could even say anything, the person that told me literally FaceTimed him and put me on the screen, knowing that he knew who I was through the person that I love that was with him. So she didn't even give me a chance to decide whether or not I wanted to be involved with it. She put me in it. So of course, when she FaceTimed him and he saw me, he's awkward, like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, hey. So what happened there is he ended up confessing himself. He went on ahead and told on himself, and I didn't have to say anything. I think I ended up saying something, but he had already done his own confession. And I'm trying to think, has it happened any other time? There's other times where I think there's someone that I know who I've heard rumors about their man, and me knowing their relationship and knowing the person, I don't think that that they would handle it well. I think that it would put them in a messed up position, and I believe that they would be mad at the messenger, and it would just cause unnecessary stress and drama when I already know that they not gonna bust a move about it. And because I don't have the facts, that is just something he say, she say. In that case, I have decided to mind my business. So I personally think it's case by case, because you have to know your people, and some people don't handle being told certain things. They don't handle it well, and you have to really be sure that you want to be the person that delivers that type of information, especially if you don't have all the facts. If it's he say, she say, you know, check the source or check your facts, fact check. Don't bring nobody no false information, just rumors or whatever. Um, but I don't know. That's deep because I think I'm torn about that because that's basically like you have to choose to break somebody's heart that you love. Even though you know that they're going to eventually find out and that person is going to break their heart. But when you have to be the bearer of bad news, that's heavy. That's heavy. What about, do you believe in holding your best friend's secret for her if she cheated on her boyfriend and y'all all be hanging out together? Yeah, because I'm not telling. I'm not getting in their business like that. And so I guess it would have to be the other way around too when you think about it, because if I knew that he was cheating, again, it's the loyalty, of course, is going to be with the best friend. So yeah, if my best friend was doing it, I'm not going to condone it or support it at all, but I'm not going to out them either. So yeah. um I used to hold my brother down. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not going to support it. Um, Thankfully, I don't know anybody that's cheating on their people at all. Because again, that's a character thing too. Because if they'll cheat and not be loyal to a person that loves them and is holding them down, you know, I personally value respect and love over loyalty, because I believe people should just be loyal to themselves, and hopefully, their character aligns with mine, so that whatever they do to be loyal to themselves align with me anyway. But it is a reflection of character if they're chronic cheaters. Um, so I don't want to be put in that position. If you're gonna cheat, don't even tell me about it, because I don't want the awkward energy to be laughing and smiling in your spouse's face, knowing you've been face down, ass up with somebody else. So leave me out of it. I don't want to be in nobody's mess, nobody's marital mess, nobody's relationship mess. Cheat on your own damn time. Don't tell me shit about it. I don't even want to have to be awkward with your folks. So again, I think with Rasheeda and Yandy, I think because Rasheeda has gone through so many marital things herself, I think she probably is just acting according to what she would rather people do for her. She probably wishes people would handle their damn or mind their own damn business, because um when she when the whole thing about Kirk having another baby, all that came out, everybody knowing about it, and it's Love and Hip Hop, so the storylines, they probably already secretly knew. She probably already knew about it behind the scenes, but they got to make it look good for TV, and then you got to involve not even just the world, but everybody in your circle. So a lot of the things women be knowing about, people be knowing when their man is cheating. They already um, then figured it out, and so you coming to tell them, "Girl, I saw your man at the store holding hands with such and such." Now she embarrassed because she already know anyway. She was just hiding it from you because she didn't want you to tell her to leave his ass. He would tell all the business too. Oh, yeah. I was talking about Love and Hip Hop because that's what's trending this week. Is this Rasheeda and Yandy situation where I haven't watched the episode yet. I was telling y'all yesterday I stopped watching Love and Hip Hop. for a long time, but I had started watching it again just to have some, you know, watch my little ratchet shows every now and then, but it's nothing like the original uh Jocelyn, Mimi, Stevie J, uh when they was on there. So yeah, it's totally different now. The OG, the only ones that's left from like the original is I don't know, was Kirk and Rasheeda on from the beginning? Carly Red, of course. And that's it. All the other ones are pretty much new. Yandy and Mendeecees are kind of like New York OGs, but now that they are in Atlanta, they over here with it. So, um, you know, a lot of times people already know what their man is doing. Even in the case of what I said earlier about certain couple that I know that I've heard rumors about, I'm pretty sure she know. Um, so me talking about it is just shining light. I think I remember years back when Tiny and Ti were going through their uh, troubles in their marriage. I think it was around the time he was talking to Bernice, and he mentioned something about like you. Basically, he was saying she really don't be tripping about him having other women or messing with other women until other people have opinions about it. So a lot of these people be low key giving their man passes or letting shit slide, or they already dealing with it internally. They don't need nobody's extra pressure and eyes and embarrassment and shame for things that they already struggling with. So you really have to just figure out, you have to pick your battles with that, choose your battles with that. Now, if it's a life or death situation, like you know that they dealing with somebody that has an STI or something that can't be cured, or they out here dealing with somebody that's got anger issues and or got a crazy man that's on parole on the loose that might do something, you know, some drama that could get them messed up, then you might have to just get on in their business and say something. But other than that, you really have to know who your friends are, know if they can receive the message well, and you know, be brave enough to share that, because you could be destroying their whole relationship, and you would be the one that is the bearer of that news. But of course, if the relationship's going to end anyway, then maybe you don't care. I don't know. Do I believe in giving my guy passes? Mm. I believe when it comes to like the overall concept of a pass, I believe it works for some. I can understand. Um, I can understand the concept. You know, that's a big task to be monogamous for the rest of your life and only be with one person. So I think that's very mature and liberated to be able to say, you know what, you know, do this responsibly. Don't bring me back no nothing. Don't bring back no babies. Don't catch feelings. If you want to go out and do your thing, do your rizzle. That's what my uncle used to say instead of do your thizzle. Do your rizzle, baby. But me personally, I'm not gonna. I never say never. It doesn't sound ideal to me, but I never say never. Like when I'm in a relationship, the next relationship I'm in, I definitely want it to be healthy. I want to be free myself, and I want my man to be free as well and autonomous over his own body and his decisions. And I want us to have an understanding with each other. But of course, I would want him to only want to be with me. Um, so I don't know. I'm gonna have to say I will have to cross that bridge when I get there, if I ever get there. But I would love a man that doesn't feel the need to get a pass. I'm gonna say that. Um, but again, like I said, my man is gonna be free and liberated and autonomous. So I don't own him. I don't own his body. I don't own his decisions. I don't choose his friends. The only thing I can control is how I'm treated and what I accept. And, I'm going to let him know what my values and standards are, and my beliefs and my boundaries. And hopefully they align with his. And there's that. So he's a free man. If he decides to do it, then I have to make my decision from there. I don't know. We'll see. Interesting answer. I don't know what that interesting is like, girl. You ain't answer the question. Or, I never thought of it that way. Interesting. But yeah, like I said, she might just be prioritizing her own marriage because she got her own things to be concerned about, let alone getting into someone else's. Again, it can backfire. Folks can lash out at you. They lash out at the other woman and they still gonna sit around and be with the man. It can cause rifts in your relationship. So you really have to decide, whether or not you're gonna do that. Sometimes minding your business is the best thing you can do. But again, if you know something, I think if I see a homegirl's man cheating, I think the best thing to do, I feel like the people that I have in my circles will want to know. So I would tell them because I feel like the people I know now, they will want to know, they would appreciate me for telling them, and they would be able to handle it without getting me involved in it or whatever. I would tell them, and I wouldn't judge them if they decided to stay because that's their business and that's their relationship. So I believe the people I have in my life would totally be okay with it. But let's say I have a new friend. I don't know her like that. We just getting to know each other. And I've met her man or something. And I see some shit when I'm out and about. I think the best bet for me, what I think I would do is just let him see me see him. Hey, how you doing? Hi. What's your name? Oh, nice to meet you. It was good seeing you. That guilt hopefully will eat his ass up with not knowing if I'm going to tell his woman or not. And he just go ahead and confess himself. That's what I would hope for. Because I'm make him feel real uncomfortable. I'm going to be, if I see him again. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I don't want to have to be in that position, but I think that's a good tactic. What y'all think? Let them see you see them. Go up to them. Speak to who they with. And maybe they'll confess. I don't know. Realist said it was a dope answer. Thank you. Thank you. So I had a couple of other topics that I was going to get into today, but I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it for tomorrow, y'all. We talked about stress for damn 40 minutes. So just a little preview of what we'll be talking about tomorrow, in addition to whatever our main topic is. Maybe I'll get into this. I'll get into this before we wrap up. There's this post that I saw, and I'm gonna just read some of the comments and get y'all opinions, and then we'll wrap it up. And I'll get the fourth topic. I'll leave that for tomorrow. So this particular post says, since we're kind of on the subject, what screams this couple won't last? Feel free to put some in the comments. What is something that you may see where you like, yeah, they ain't gonna make it? Yeah, do you have your notifications turned on? That's why I be telling y'all to turn y'all notifications on, because it's a pop-up late night show. You don't know when I might pop up. But I try my best to get here before 11, but today it was like literally right after midnight, so I understand. But yeah, we talked about good and bad stress today, and the 4 S's that we talked about to combat stress is your spirituality. So whatever that looks like for you, prayer, calling on your ancestors, going out in nature, meditating, whatever spirituality is for you to combat stress. Solutions, whatever it is that you're going through, coming up with solutions, because that's literally really all you can do when you facing an issue like financial struggles, problems in your relationship, work, overworking you, undervaluing you, or just any type of issues or of stress, constant worry, overwhelm. What are the solutions that you can come up with? So spirituality, solutions, surrendering. If you can't do shit about it, if it's out of your control, surrendering, meaning just going with the flow of it and adapting, adjusting to the pivot, pivoting. What's the next move? Instead of obsessing over something that you absolutely have no control over. What's next? And the fourth one was setting boundaries. So a lot of the things that we stress out about would be solved with some good old fashioned boundaries. If you're being overworked and overwhelmed and underpaid at work, okay, you might not even have to announce the damn boundary. You just do it. Like a lot of people be stressing themselves out, slide down the wall, trying to be the best at work, and you're not even getting respected for it, honored, appreciated, or seen. Just do the bare minimum. They're not paying you no, they're not giving you no bonus, they're not giving you no raise, they're not giving you no extra paid time off. Do your tasks, clock in, do your tasks, and go home. Um, or if it's people crossing the line with you, the microaggressions or whatever, setting boundaries. Hey, I don't like when you express yourself in that way. I don't like being talked to in that way. When I was still working in corporate, one of the things that used to drive me crazy, but I didn't have as many boundaries in my toolbox at the time. Whenever, I was a loose natural before I had locks. So I used to wear my hair curly a lot, bantu knot out, twist out. So whenever I had my hair straightened in a wrap, here come the nurse practitioner, want to run her fingers through my hair. She wouldn't like me now, because then I just wouldn't say nothing. I just cringe. But no, ma'am, you don't put your hands in my hair. The fuck wrong with you? So I just had a flashback. But setting your boundaries, okay? Setting your boundaries. Definitely the if we can't change it part. Absolutely. If you can't do nothing about it, baby, go with the flow of it and pivot. I'm pushing all kind of wrong buttons. Big on that. Okay. I don't know what I just did, but it minimized me. I don't like it. Okay. Let's read some of the comments in this. What signs? What does it say? What makes you... No, that's the other one. What screams this couple won't last? So this man said, when the dude looks too happy. Huh? I don't know about that. Someone says a couple that doesn't have God, couples that pray together stay together. Definitely feel like God is important, but every couple that pray together don't stay together. Let's not say that. Someone else said, welcome to our YouTube channel. So couples creators, they think that people that create content together don't last. I think it's hit or miss. I think some of these family channels are wonderful and it's a great source of income for their family. And a lot of people enjoy it. Some people do not like parents putting their kids on platforms and making kids famous through content. They think that it's inappropriate, but that's to each their own when it comes to that. But there are some YouTube couples and some TikTok couples or whatever platforms that end up not making it. And I don't think it's necessarily because they have a channel together. It's just that they have some issues and they're under the spotlight. And sometimes people let it get to their head. They might be falling into temptations or whatever else. So it partly because of the exposure, but it's just the relationship imploding in front of your eyes, basically. Getting a preview of what people go through behind closed doors. Somebody says she likes him more than he likes her. Now, every woman says that the men should like the woman more than the woman likes him. And every man says that the woman should like the man more than he likes her. But I honestly do feel like, and I'm a woman, but it's something about when the man, I'm not gonna say likes the woman more, but it's just like more, um, it's not about liking them more. It's just like the man is really happy with being with the woman. Like he's very satisfied with who he has chosen to be with. It makes a world of difference. And of course, that's obvious. Like, of course, it's going to make a big difference. But you can tell when somebody is just like they've settled or they're not as excited about being with their person. That's what that gives. I think that that's what it really is versus liking them more. I think you should like each other equally. Some of these folks be putting too much of their business out. That's true too. When they've been together for 8 years and still not married. Now, sometimes those be the relationships that last. Sometimes it's when they've been together for 8 years and then they get married and then all of a sudden they break up. Something happens. I don't know. But my parents was together. They still low key together. They cool. They like boo things. But 20, it's been 30 something years now. How old am I? 36. So it's been 39 years of them being in a loving situationship, whatever they call it. They they still cool. But as far as living together, 28 years or something like that. Never married. People who cut off their friends to be with someone. A solid relationship will never isolate you from your village. I rocks with that. That's actually the norm to be together for years and not married. Yeah. Um. So what y'all think about that? People who cut their friends off to be with someone. A solid relationship will never isolate you from your village. I personally agree. I think that when folks start trying to come in and be like, you don't need to be friends, and I get sometimes your spouse sees things that you may not see, just like your mom might be like, that friend right there, I don't trust them. So sometimes, but that's for you to do, I believe. Like if you, sometimes people see something, but it takes for you to be able to see it and decide for yourself. I don't feel like nobody else should choose your friends for you or decide when you should cut them off. Um, Even if they seeing something that you don't see, it's up to you to be able to make that decision. Let's see. Let's see. Somebody said when the woman is building the man up financially. I low key agree with that too, in a sense. Like building them up financially, and they eat like if they don't have any personal ambition, they haven't even tried. Like, okay, if we're talking foundation part, foundation terminology, if we're building together and this man don't have a blueprint, he ain't got no bricks, he don't have the materials, he haven't started laying down the foundation, there's nothing but just bare, not even land. We got to find the land together, we got to get the blueprint together, we got to get the materials together, and I got to start laying this shit down with you brick by brick. Sometimes it can backfire because I've seen how some men are when they don't have money, when they're not financially secure, they're not where they want to be. Sometimes it can cause a lot of depression and make them take it out on the woman, unfortunately. Or they'll get with that woman and she'll start coming in. She got the blueprint. She's doing all the things. She's laying it down. She's helping him do everything, or she's supporting him with it. And then as soon as the damn house is built, he like, well, shit, you look a little dusty. You know, you got dirt under your nails and you got soot on your cheeks. Look at that woman right there. She look fresh, fine, feminine, and fit because she ain't been in there putting the damn bricks down with your ass. So now all of a sudden, the woman that's been building this foundation up with you is no longer attractive to you or no longer good enough for you because now that you have the things, you want something, you want an upgrade. So, that can happen too. And then sometimes I feel like not to fall in love with nobody's potential, but sometimes um, men and women flourish better together. That partnership it brings the motivation, it brings the ideas, like, you know, that nurturing energy, that feminine energy in essence can be the fuel that that man needs to go from, maybe he's already laid out things or he has the blueprint and he just needs that extra motivation and energy around him to take off and get it done. So it just depends on the character of the person and, you know, what it is they have to offer and their morals for real. They're, because like I said, I've seen all these examples. I've experienced myself being with somebody that didn't have it, was freaking depressed and angry at the world, including me. So even when I have the ideas, because I'm the queen of ideas. That's why I be telling y'all to get a strategy session. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make whatever it is that you even have a small dream or thought or idea about. I'm gonna make it into a reality, a plan of action. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna do it together. Um, but then I could do all that, and if you don't have the motivation, or if you're angry and you want to get it out the mud yourself, or whatever your reasoning is, now you mad at me. Then what am I doing that for? And then I've seen the woman that held the man down, and as soon as he got to where he was going, he left, or he didn't really leave the relationship, but she became a placeholder. And now all of a sudden you got a different tax bracket, you feel like you should have access to a different caliber of women. So appreciate it, thank you, well said, I believe it, thank you. So hold on, you said something else. You said that was a point made. I think it depends for real. Thank you, thank you. Yep. So you have to be careful with that. But then again, like I said, there are men who really have that in them to be super great, and they can be a boss and do all these great things, and they just need that partner. And if you are that type of woman that you know you come with that, and you know that, you know, sometimes with men or with women, we have all this great potential. I don't really even like to use the word potential because I don't believe in falling in love with potential, but you have all of these gifts, this talent, this aura, this energy, and there's just that one piece missing that is all you need to really take off. So it's not always a bad thing to, you know, look out for somebody in that way. Use your discernment, baby. Utilize your discernment when it comes with that. Let's see what else they're saying. We'll read a few more. We get to the point where it's air conditioning time. It's hot up in this house. um Somebody said when they desperately seek online validation. The my man, my man, my man relationships. Yeah, people sometimes be fronting. Like it's really that and it ain't. When they disrespect each other publicly, absolutely. Why are we doing that? What's going on? Somebody raised on survival and the other raised off of love. Go back and listen to some of my old episodes where I talk about mother wounds and father wounds, just for some examples of what it looks like when people are raised on survival. Um, Relationships built on love bombing. Go back and watch my episode on, I think I talked about love bombing, maybe on the narcissist episode. Constant breaking up and making up. Yeah, like what y'all got going on? What y'all got going on? Each time a boundary is set, it turns into an argument instead of a piece of knowledge. Blocking and unfollowing each other after every disagreement. Yeah, how old are we? Somebody said each other's names tattooed. Um, Having kids before meeting the family. Y'all know what I'm gonna say. You gotta vet. You have to vet, because it's not just the person that you're having the baby with or the children with. It's a whole set of folks that come along with that, and a whole lineage. Let me see who's up in this bitch. Who you got? Who your people? Because I'm not gonna fret to say I have the perfect family or the perfect lineage, but you're welcome to come vet and see about it and see how I compare and contrast. Like, what ways of my people did I take on, and which ways am I going a different path? And I'm gonna do the same for you. Because if you got all this going on in your family, I have to make the decision for my future children. This is gonna be their folks, and I need to know what y'all got going on. The joint media account, literally back to back comments that were a day apart. It says joint social media accounts, and then the other one says that joint media account. Did I ever? Nah, I didn't ever do the joint media social media account, but I did back in my day. Back in the day when I was a young gal, definitely was the one that had the passwords and access and all that. I'm good. Speaking of stress, I'm good. I don't need no damn passwords. I don't want to see it. Somebody said when they meet on Pop the Balloon, a mess. I need to follow up on that couple that got engaged from Pop the Balloon. They seemed like they were solid. I'm gonna see if they still together. Arguing in Walmart, arguing all the time. Too much puppy names. They argue in public. When they start arguing in line about which cinnamon roll to get, just get both and stop arguing about everything. Now, okay, I was about to say, why is that so specific? This is a restaurant they commented. Let me see. Yeah, they said they sell cinnamon rolls because I'm like, why can't you say that? Okay, we might get into some more of these another time. It's 1:31. We've been on here for 1 minute. I mean, 1 hour and 22 minutes. So, y'all know what time it is. Make sure you head on over to oshacerese.com if you are looking for a life coach. Here I am. Wonderful courses, one-on-one coaching if you're interested in that, and strategy sessions if you have some ideas that you need somebody to help pull out of you. Let's birth this. The Dream Doula is here to support you in birthing your ideas into reality. Go ahead and get you a strategy session, book you a call to get your coaching session set up, or enroll in a course, or grab you a journal. Look around and make sure if you're a single, hopeful, romantic, intentional dater that you are on the Intentional Love Collective database. I'm going to be starting my love letters soon too. I'm not calling them newsletters anymore. I'm calling them love letters. So if you want to get on my love letter list, then head over there to oshacerese.com. Under there's a couple of tabs that you can see how to join my list on the home page and under my social media and shows tab. What am I looking up? I'm looking up the Intentional Love Collective database because I just want to make sure it's still growing, because I keep telling y'all it's a growing database, so I want to make sure y'all know that it is. I haven't had a chance to check it this week, so let me see. Absolutely, it's growing, y'all, so make sure you are tapped in. I appreciate y'all for joining the list. I can't wait to mix and match y'all up based on your interests, your values, and your preferences. So look forward to some new upcoming events coming up. I got some collaborations coming up and some things I'm doing on my own. Just hold tight. Hold tight, it's coming. But let me give y'all some journaling prompts and we will wrap this thing up, baby. Let's see. Okay, and I'm looking forward to talking about the other topic that we didn't talk about today too tomorrow. I ain't gonna give y'all a preview. You just gotta come back and see. So hold on. I gotta make sure I'm reading the right ones that's not attached to the topic we didn't discuss. Ooh, allergies, y'all. Do I struggle with stress and how much of it is actually good stress versus bad stress? That's what I want you to ask yourself in your journal. Your journal prompt is, do I struggle with stress, and how much of it is actually good stress versus bad stress? Then, since we talking about it, would you want your friend to tell you if they heard rumors about your partner? Now, Realist already answered here, but if you did not, go ahead and write it in your journal. Would you want your friend to tell you if they heard rumors about your partner? Why or why not? And based on what we talked about for stress today, what is something that you need to surrender to? What is something that you've been stressing out about that's totally out of your control? What does the pivot look like for you? That is your third journaling prompt. And I appreciate y'all so much. This was episode 51. Thank you for pulling up. I'm so grateful for y'all. And make sure you're following me, Osha Cerese, on all platforms. Make sure you're tapped in here, subscribed. We are on the journey of 300 is the milestone goal for this month for subscribers. We at 213 as of today. So make sure you're subscribed and you got your notifications turned on so you know when I'm going to pop up. And I'm working on the content for, just the regular content that I'm posting. I have a lot of stuff that's archived that just hasn't been published yet. So I'm going to work on that too. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Enjoy your evening. Talk to y'all later. Thank you.